woman was going to be. Joan Jett, I think, of course, for all of us, the first thing we think about is how fucking cool she is. And as a kid, that was something I did not relate to. I wish I could say the same thing about myself. I also should mention that I did remember the movie she did with Michael J. Fox, if any of you remember it. It's called Light of Day. A Cleveland brother played by Michael J. Fox and sister played by Joan Jett rise with the rock band while coping with personal problems. Very vague, but it's on YouTube. Anyways, so Joan Jett, she wears all black, not in a Madonna pointy boo kind of way, like in a I don't give a fuck kind of way. She basically loses coolness, and this was something that I strived for my entire life. I always felt pretty much like an awkward idiot. So when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, I felt like that was a time when women were very prominent in music, and they provided definitely an escape from my everyday life. So I was an only child. I spent a lot of time being bored and alone, but I did have TV and I had music. So it sort of created a world where I was cool and like super popular. I spent about 80% of my time worried about what other people thought of me and trying to be part of the popular crowd, and I failed miserably. Sometimes my mom and I would drive in the summer at night, and we would play Whitney in the car. And for that short amount of time, I felt like I could actually sing. But I stumbled my way through ballet classes. I felt like an ogre when I had to dress up for Easter or a special occasion, especially when it involved wearing hose. During the summer, yeah, my mom and I would listen to a lot of Whitney, and I felt like I was just in my own little world. And then when I was grounded, which was most of the time because last time I was here I talked about my evil stepmother, but I would be in my room and I would listen to Tiffany, as I'm sure most of you think. And I would dance around my room, and at this point in my life, I was in elementary school-ish, a little older. I went to the same public school with my cousins, and and my cousins always seemed to have a bigger group of friends than I did, and I never felt like I could catch up with them. And to make things worse, after elementary school, I moved on to a different school, a private school, which was obviously not my decision. But I still had my music. So then came middle school. And during that time, I was at a Catholic school. I lived in Dallas. I mean, we basically had the same education. To give you an idea of the year. 1989, 1990. My cousins and I have the same education. They went to public schools, I was in private school. You'd think I should be a rocket scientist considering my high school was $12 grand a year at the time that I went. It's now $26 grand a year. Yeah. My father worked at the school, so I got a 70% discount. So let's be clear on that. I did not live in a mansion. At this school, Catholic school, there were 24 people-ish per class, so cliques were very strict. I would literally run to try and get lunch first so I could sit near the end of the table with the popular girls. Boys and girls were separated at lunch. But many times I was pushed away, and I literally mean pushed away from the table. I did have a best friend named Angela all through 4th grade. We were pretty attached at the hip, but she left at the end of 4th grade, moved to California. I gave her one half of my best friend necklace. She got the street, I call it the street end part, and I kept the beef frying part. I don't know what happened to it. So then again, I had to start from scratch. So 5th through 8th grade was a little rough. I did have 2 good friends, Teresa and Christina. I tried to hang out at their houses as much as possible to avoid being at my own house. But even when I was at home and grounded, and I read all my Garfield and Calvin and Hobbes books, I still had my music. My friend Teresa's house was very small like mine, filled with 2 younger siblings, very annoying, and super weird parents. Christina lived in Ross Perot's old house. I liked hanging out there a little bit better. The 3 of us were pretty good buddies through the rest of middle school, but there were some bumpy patches along the way. Christina started dating, which I don't know what that means in 8th grade, my crush, so fuck her, right? I did not cheat on. She had a teacher who believed her, and I got an F. My own parents didn't believe me, so yeah, it still hurts. But I also am pretty sure I forgave her quickly because I just wanted to have friends and also because I'm swingable. So pushover is an understatement to describe who I was back then. Let's see. Early 90s, Janet, yes. So all of a sudden, Allison Corey in my class wanted to be friends with me. This was a big deal. She was a skinny, fair-skinned ballerina, and when I say ballerina, she was literally a ballerina. Dainty, delicate, made me feel like a Bigfoot whenever I tried to dress up. She suddenly proposed that we be friends, and this was the first time I would cut back time with current friends to hang out with Popular Kid. It happens later anymore. Needless to say, this friendship lasted 2 weeks. I was invited for a sleepover once. I don't remember much except there was a lot of pink everywhere. But at the end of 2 weeks, I was promptly told our friendship was over, no reason given, and my response was to start crying until she made fun of me. Then I got angry, and then we had one of those, well, at least I'm not, blank fights. Then she said, at least I'm not fat, so I decided to shove her. It was her word against mine. Our principal's historian decided to just let it go, so there were no charges pressed. And, I don't ever really recall speaking to her anymore. So that friendship was over. After this was high school. There were a bunch of private high schools in Dallas to choose from, but I ended up going to the one my dad worked at, as I said. Private school, super cheap tuition. He was the athletic director. He'd been there for about 16 years at that point. I knew most of the faculty since I was a baby, so I thought this would be an easy transition, but some of the kids, the school was 5th through 12th grade. They had a horrible experience with their middle school math teacher who happened to be an evil bitch from hell and also my stepmom. What some of them didn't realize is they thought she was my actual mom, but once they realized that she wasn't and then I also hated her, they grew to love me. But besides things going horribly at home, I found myself fitting in pretty well in high school. I had a really, really close friend who I'm still close with today, Laura. She was my right-hand man. We never left each other's side for about 3.5 years until she decided to date somebody 15 years older than her and smoke pot. I don't know what that was about. But nothing wrong with smoking pot. But I tried so hard to be cool. I even bought a hat just like Blossom's. That didn't work. But I thought these things would literally make me feel cooler. I even tried at my summer camp in Colorado where other kids came from all over the country, like Boston or Chicago or Sweden. There was a princess from Sweden that was at my summer camp. And even Kourtney Kardashian was in my cabin one year. But I still wasn't enough. I was introduced to new music, which my mom and dad found hilarious. This was new to me in 1995. But I still felt like I didn't fit in. I would come home to Dallas. It would all be overshadowed by my classmates' trips to the Caribbean or Europe or pool parties at someone's house all summer. So it just felt like nothing I did really mattered. I wasn't really good at anything except watching TV. My grandmother still constantly compared me to my cousins who had tons of friends and played soccer and basketball and had lots of trophies and were popular. And I played basketball for 2 seasons and I scored 1 basket the entire time for the other team. My senior year, I had another real chance to join the popular crowd. In English class one day, a classmate turned to me and said, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend?" And I told her I wasn't sure because my dad was out of town. Oh. Everybody goes, "What? Your dad's out of town?" Oh, yeah. So then Shannon, Arundel, Brandy, Rebecca, Jen is so white, and Mark all want to come to my house. So I had a party. There actually ended up being several parties at my house. They would drink the 6-pack of Miller Lite that my dad already had in the fridge. When he came home and asked what happened to it, I believe my response was, "What? That's so weird!" People from other grades would show up. They would go through my dad's room, scare my dogs, drive onto the lawn, hang empty beer cans from tree branches, blah, blah, blah. But by the end of the senior year, I was in the popular group, and I had abandoned my 3+ girlfriends. They were pretty pissed, but I didn't seem to care. And this was all this fame and popularity worth it? No, it was not, and I learned that the hard way. Sadly, around Thanksgiving, after I started college, I went back to Dallas to hang with high school friends, and they acted like I didn't even exist. So I somehow got back to square one. But I still had my music. College. Late 90s. I wish I had more music from college to share with you guys, but I felt like this was a really shitty time for music, considering Brittany and Christina were not exactly inspirational to me. But college, no more rich kids. This time it was hardworking young women who were on scholarships and had paid for their own cars. And I was super jealous of this. I was excited to be at the university where my parents had met. They divorced, but still. I thought this was going to be a great time in my life. It actually was. I was ready to start college and figure out what I wanted to do with my life, which I did not. I'm almost 38 and I still don't know. I did make great girlfriends in my dorm. I even contemplated joining a sorority because my mom and grandmother had been in the same one, and I was a legacy. But I went to the first week of Rush and found out there was a strict dress code for each day. It involved taking the earrings out of the second hole in my earlobe, and I was like, fuck that. I majored in journalism, but even a cute guy in all my media classes was not enough to keep my interest, so I switched to film criticism with a minor in theater. And I made my way into the weird, crazy, incestuous world of college theater. This was a world that was still cliquey, but everybody was really weird, so I felt like I fit right in. I ended up finding friends that I'm still close with today, but I was still reaching for that spot with the cool kids that I could never seem to reach. I made my last attempt in Texas to be popular in improv classes in Fort Worth, but was constantly rebuffed by the mostly male teachers and classmates. But on one positive note, they are the reason that I moved here. Everything changed for me when I moved to Chicago to do comedy. And oddly enough, when it came to music, I felt myself starting to listen to songs from the past. And I loved it here. I took classes at I.O., and then Second City Conservatory. I made friends in like 2 weeks, like hundreds of friends. 13 years later, I still talk and see a huge chunk of them. Some of them are here. And some of them are, they're actually in this room. A lot of them live in LA now, and some of them turn out to be, well, assholes. But after 13 years in Chicago, and friendships formed, broken, shitty jobs, shitty bosses, lots of thinking time on the train, and so much anxiety, a little depression, being cut from improv teams, I realized I had finally filled that void, and it had nothing to do with being cool. People liked me and thought I did good work, and more importantly, I was confident in the work I was doing and thought, oh, maybe I'm funny and talented and people like me, and oh my god, it was not even being about the popular. I just needed to gain self-esteem. Head exploding emoji. So now I'm 37, 38 next week, and I have the best job ever, the best boyfriend ever, the best friends ever, and I live in the best city ever. So not to be totally cheesy, but music really was and still is my therapy during rough times. But the moral of the story is you can be surrounded by friends and family, but if they don't support or encourage you, how are you supposed to develop any confidence? And I did not find that until I came here. And now, I don't give a damn about my bad reputation.